I never told my best friend I slept with her sister once in college because it was one drunken, lonely night after she left me behind for a new life, and when she cried to me about trust and family, I just said I get it while carrying a secret that's burned a hole through every reunion since. We were best friends since we were 10. Me and Melanie. We lived 2 streets away from each other in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, this quiet town that smelled like grass and car exhaust. She was bold, loud, wild in the best way. I was quieter. People noticed her. I followed close behind. We were inseparable. Through middle school, high school, breakups, bad grades, fights with parents, we stuck together. We promised we'd always have each other's backs, no matter what. And I believed that. Even when everything else felt shaky, Melanie was solid. When senior year ended, she got accepted to Stanford. Full ride. She was always the one who was going to make it out. She was made for more than our small town. Everyone knew that. I didn't even apply out of state. I stayed local, went to Shippensburg University, commuted from home. My mom needed help with my little brothers and my dad had just left. Mel tried to stay close at first. We talk on the phone every week, long texts, midnight FaceTimes. She'd tell me about the ocean, the campus protests, late-night diners, the way the sun looked on palm trees. I'd lie and tell her about fun parties and crazy professors, but mostly I was working in my uncle's auto shop and helping my mom with dinner and homework. She came back for Thanksgiving that first year. We watched movies on the couch like old times, but it felt different. She kept talking about people I didn't know. She wore clothes that didn't look like her. She smelled like a fancy shampoo I couldn't pronounce. I told myself it was just change, nothing more. Then Christmas break came and she didn't show. She called and said she had an internship in San Francisco and couldn't afford to miss it. I told her I understood. But I didn't. New Year's Eve, I got drunk alone. I sat on the porch with a 6-pack, watching the snow fall. I was supposed to be with her, laughing about the stupid things we did growing up. Instead, I was freezing and half-drunk, thinking about how she'd left and never looked back. Then Brielle showed up. She was Melanie's little sister, 3 years younger. I barely noticed her growing up. She was just the annoying tag-along. But that night, she walked into the Barrel House bar like she owned it. With tight jeans, too much eyeliner, and a fake ID. She spotted me right away. "Oh my God," she said, running over. "I thought I'd be the only loser from town here tonight." We drank. We talked. A lot. She was 18, maybe 19, but she spoke like someone older, worn down. She said she hated Chambersburg. Said she hated how Mel left and acted like she'd outgrown the rest of us. She told me she wanted out too, but didn't have the grades or the money. She asked me why I didn't go with Mel. I laughed and told her I had responsibilities. She said that was bullshit and maybe she was right. Somewhere between drink 5 and 6, she leaned in close. Her hand landed on my knee. I should have stopped it. Instead, we ended up in my car behind the building. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't tender. It was fast, sloppy, full of guilt. I don't remember the details. I just remember her crying after, saying, "I'm not her. I'll never be her." I wanted to disappear. The next day, we didn't speak. I avoided her at the grocery store, ducked behind aisles. She never told Mel. Neither did I. It felt like a nightmare. Something that shouldn't exist outside that freezing New Year's night. Melanie came back a few months later, happy and tan, full of stories. I pretended nothing had changed. I listened, I smiled, I nodded. But something was cracked inside me. Over the next few years, things got quieter between us. She moved to DC, then New York. I stayed in town, got a job at a local heating company. Fixed furnaces, cleaned ducts. Life got smaller. 3 years ago, she moved back to Pennsylvania. Got a job in environmental policy in Harrisburg. She said she wanted to be near family again. Said she missed us. I tried to believe it. We started hanging out again. Pizza nights, movie marathons, beer on the porch. It felt close, but different. One night, she cried during a horror movie. I paused it, asked what was wrong. "It's Brielle," she said. "Her husband cheated on her. Left her with nothing. She's been destroyed." I froze. She's been through so much. And I just want to believe people still care about family. About what matters. And I said it. The thing I always say. I get it. The lie. I've said that lie for years now. Every time Mel talks about loyalty or family or how trust matters more than anything, I say it. I get it. I don't. Then, 2 weeks ago, everything changed. Brielle called me out of nowhere. Said she needed to talk. We met at this shitty diner off the highway. She looked tired. Pale. Pregnant. She ordered coffee. Said she wasn't keeping the baby. Then she told me the truth. She'd been sleeping with Mel's fiancé. Tasha. I didn't plan it, she said. It just happened. She was kind and I was lonely. It wasn't supposed to last. But now it's been almost a year. I couldn't speak. She wiped her face and said, "You're the only person who knows. I thought you'd understand." I stared at her for a long time. Thought about that night in my car. Thought about all the secrets we buried. Thought about Mel's face when she said, "You're the only one I trust." I left without saying a word. Mel asked me to be her best man last week. Said I was her constant, her home base. I nodded. I get it, I said. But something's boiling inside me now. I'm sitting on a truth that could destroy everything. And for the first time, I'm not sure I want to keep it quiet. I tried to go on like nothing had changed. Told myself it wasn't my place. It wasn't my mess. But every time I looked at Mel, it was like something inside me started to rot. I'd look at her smiling face, the way she talked about wedding colors, the way she looked at Tasha like she hung the damn moon. And I felt sick. I started avoiding Tasha. Anytime she showed up, I found a reason to leave. Mel noticed. "You don't like her," she said one night while we were setting up wedding invitations at her kitchen table. Her eyes were tired but sharp. "What?" I said. "Of course I like her." "No, you don't," she said. "You're polite. But you look away every time she talks to you." I swallowed. "It's not like that." She stared at me for a while, then said, "I need everyone on board. I need this to work." That hit me harder than I expected. She needed it. She wasn't just excited, she was clinging to it. Then Brielle started texting again. "Are you going to say anything?" "I'm not okay." "I think she suspects." I stopped answering. What was I supposed to say? That I'd blow up Mel's wedding because of a mistake I made 15 years ago? That we were both liars, just wearing different masks? The week before the wedding, Mel threw a small party at her house. Her mom was there, a few cousins, old high school friends. Brielle too. She looked like hell. The baby bump was showing now. She sat in the corner most of the night, barely speaking. Then something happened. Tasha got up to make a toast. She thanked everyone for their love and support, then turned to Mel and said, "You saved my life. I was broken when I met you. I didn't think I deserved love. But you showed me what real love looks like." Mel cried. Everyone clapped. Brielle got up and left the room. No one noticed but me. I followed her outside. She was standing by Mel's old oak tree, hugging herself. It was cold. She didn't have a coat. "She doesn't know," I said. "She doesn't want to," she whispered. I stepped closer. "You need to end it. Before someone else does." She turned and looked at me. Her eyes were glassy. "She already knows something's wrong," she said. She found a text. Tasha lied, but Mel didn't believe it. She doesn't want to believe it. She needs this wedding to be real. I felt like I was going to vomit. "She doesn't trust herself anymore," Brielle said. "After everything she's been through. The way our dad left. My divorce. She thinks if this falls apart, she'll never feel whole again." I said nothing. I couldn't. Because every word was a reminder that I helped break her too. That night, I went home and sat in my garage for 2 hours with the car off, just staring at the wall. I thought about everything. The betrayal. The silence. The way we all lied to her, in different ways, for different reasons. And I realized something. This wasn't just about Brielle and Tasha. This was about me. I had been the first to betray her. I started the cracks. And I let them grow. Now, the whole thing was about to collapse. And I had to choose, let it happen quietly. Or be the one to break it loud. 2 days before the wedding, I got a call from Melanie's mom, Carol. I hadn't heard from her in months, not directly. She sounded tired, like she'd been crying. "Can you come over?" she asked. "Now?" I got in my truck and drove straight there. When I pulled up to the house, I saw Carol sitting on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, her hair up in one of those half-done buns she only wore when she was stressed. She handed me a folder as soon as I sat down. Inside were printed screenshots, text messages. My stomach dropped. It was Brielle and Tasha, explicit ones, a few going back months, a few talking about Melanie. "She found these," Carol said softly, "yesterday." I couldn't speak. "She came here in the middle of the night. Dropped them in my lap and said she didn't want to talk. Said she was going for a drive." I looked up. "Where is she now?" She won't answer. She's not at home. She's not answering Tasha either. Does she know it's Brielle? Carol nodded, holding back tears. She knows. And she still won't believe it. She said it had to be fake. A setup. Said maybe you did it. What? Carol gave me a tired look. She thinks you're mad at Tasha. That maybe you're trying to sabotage it. I felt my chest close. Why would I do that? She said you've been off. Cold. Avoiding Tasha. And that you've been weird around Brielle too. I looked away. You know something, Carol said. I didn't answer. She said something else before she left, Carol went on. Said you told her once, I get it. Said it didn't sit right. My blood ran cold. She kept repeating it. I get it. I get it. Like she was trying to figure out what it meant. I stood up. My hands were shaking. I told Carol I'd find her. Took 5 hours. She was at Pine Grove Furnace State Park. Sitting at the lake, staring out over the water, in that same gray hoodie she used to wear when we were kids. I sat beside her. She didn't look at me. I saw the messages, she said. I don't know what's real anymore. They're real, I said. She closed her eyes. I thought so. We sat there in silence for a long time. Then she said, Do you know what hurts more than her cheating? I didn't answer. It's that you knew. I know you did. I swallowed hard. She turned and looked at me, and it was the saddest I've ever seen her. How long have you known? 2 weeks. Her face didn't change. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know how. That's not good enough. I nodded. I know. She looked back at the lake. I trusted you more than anyone. And then the final blow, is that the only thing you've kept from me? I felt like the air got sucked out of the world. She turned and looked at me again. I'm asking you. Right now. Don't lie to me. Not this time. I couldn't speak. Her voice dropped. Did something happen between you and Brielle? She knew. Somehow she knew. Once I said, barely louder than a whisper. A long time ago. College. You were in California. I was drunk. She showed up at a bar. It was a mistake. She didn't move. I never told you because I knew it would destroy you. I swear it didn't mean anything. She stood up. I reached for her arm. Mel, she pulled away. Don't touch me. I watched her walk to her car, get in, and drive away. I haven't seen her since. The wedding is tomorrow. I don't know if it's happening, but I do know something's coming. Because there's one more secret. And I just found it out an hour ago. Tasha's not just cheating. She's married. To someone else. And that person just messaged me. The message came through Facebook. From a woman named Elena. She wrote, Hi. You don't know me, but I think we need to talk. I saw your name in Tasha's recent calls. I'm her wife. We're not separated. We've been married for 5 years. And I just found out she's getting married again. This weekend. I stared at the screen so long my vision blurred. Tasha was already a wife. Living a double life. About to marry Melanie while still tied to someone else. The lies ran deeper than I ever imagined. I called Elena. She was furious, heartbroken, ready to explode. She'd found the wedding website while snooping through Tasha's email. She didn't even know who Melanie was. When I told her everything I knew about Brielle, the texts, the wedding tomorrow, she said one thing: she's not walking out of that church untouched. I promise you. We made a plan. The next morning, I got dressed in the same suit I planned to wear as Melanie's best man. Not because I thought I'd still stand beside her, but because I was going to war. The wedding was at a small chapel outside Carlisle. White barn, red doors, simple flowers, close friends. Brielle was there, looking like a ghost. She avoided my eyes. Tasha smiled like none of this was real, like nothing had cracked. Then the music started. The doors opened. Mel walked in wearing a white suit dress and this calm, unreadable expression. Everyone stood. I didn't. She reached the altar. Tasha took her hand. The pastor began his opening lines. Then the back door burst open. Elena stepped in. Black leather jacket. Heels. A folder in one hand. Stop the ceremony, she said. She's already married. Gasps. Whispers. Someone dropped a drink. Melanie didn't move. Elena walked straight to the front and tossed the marriage certificate at Tasha's feet. This is your wife, she said. You married me in 2020. You never filed for divorce. Tasha turned pale. Who the hell is she? Someone whispered behind me. Melanie looked at Tasha. Is it true? Tasha tried to speak, but nothing came out. Brielle stood up suddenly. Mel. Mel turned, slow and cold. Not you. Brielle froze. Mel looked at the guests and said, calm as hell. The wedding's off. Thank you for coming. Then she walked out. I followed her outside. Mel, wait. She turned around and finally let it all out. You slept with my sister. You lied for 15 years. You watched me plan this wedding knowing what Tasha did. And you thought you were the safe one? The loyal one? I couldn't answer. You all deserve each other, she said. Every single one of you. She got in her car and drove off. That was 6 months ago. Brielle moved away. No one knows where. She gave the baby up for adoption. Tasha got fired. Word got out to her employer. Elena divorced her in public court, made sure every detail went on record. And me? I still live here. I see Carol sometimes at the store. She never says more than hi. Mel never spoke to me again. I used to think I was the better friend because I stayed behind. Because I was always there. But I wasn't honest. And that made me just as bad as the rest. That day, we all got what we deserved. Mel lost her wedding. Brielle lost her sister. Tasha lost her freedom. And I lost the only person who ever truly trusted me. All for one night I can't take back. And a lie I told too well.